Our story begins in the vast emptiness of space, billions of years ago, when the universe was nothing but a dark, silent void. There were no stars, no planets, not even a glimmer of light, just endless darkness stretching in all directions. Then, in a single, unimaginable moment, the universe exploded into existence in the Big Bang. Space itself expanded at a staggering rate, and as it cooled, the first atoms formed. Over millions of years, these atoms gathered together, igniting the first stars and giving birth to swirling galaxies. In a quiet corner of the Milky Way, a vast cloud of gas and dust began to collapse under its own gravity. Deep within this swirling nebula, pressure and heat built up until, at last, a new star was born, our sun, blazing to life in the darkness. Around this newborn sun, leftover debris spun in a cosmic dance. Over time, these fragments collided and merged, forming the planets of our solar system, including a young Earth, its surface a churning sea of molten rock and fire. This early Earth was a world of extremes. Volcanoes erupted constantly, spewing lava and ash into the sky. The air was thick with toxic gases, and the surface was bombarded by meteors from space, making it a truly hostile environment. Yet, over millions of years, the relentless heat began to fade. The planet slowly cooled, and a solid crust formed above the fiery mantle. Volcanic eruptions released gases that started to build a new primitive atmosphere, rich in water vapor and other elements. As the atmosphere thickened, temperatures dropped. Water vapor condensed into clouds, and for thousands of years, rain poured down in torrents, carving rivers and filling deep basins. The relentless downpour eventually gave rise to the first oceans, covering much of the planet's surface. Now Earth was transformed into a water world. Its surface was still barren and lifeless, but the presence of vast oceans meant the stage was set for something new and remarkable to happen. In these warm, mineral-rich seas, the raw ingredients for life began to swirl and mix. Sunlight streamed through the clouds, and heat from the planet's interior created bubbling hot springs and deep-sea vents, providing energy for chemical reactions. The stage was set for something extraordinary. The conditions were just right for the first sparks of life to ignite, a moment that would change the planet forever. In these ancient sunlit waters, the journey of evolution was about to begin. Simple molecules would soon assemble into the first living cells, marking the dawn of life on Earth. The first simplest forms of life were on the verge of emerging, tiny, fragile, but full of potential. They would pave the way for all the incredible diversity to come. From fire and chaos, Earth was poised for its greatest transformation. The forces that once threatened to destroy the planet now set the stage for creation. The story of life was about to start, a journey that would shape the destiny of our world and everything that calls it home. In the primordial oceans, where the waters were rich with minerals and the air was thick with volcanic gases, the building blocks of life began to form. These were simple molecules, the precursors to the complex chemistry of life. Simple molecules linked up, eventually creating a molecule that could copy itself. The dawn of replication. This was a monumental step, as it allowed life to perpetuate itself. These first self-replicators were fragile bubbles protected by primitive membranes, the earliest cells. They floated in the nutrient-rich waters, absorbing what they needed to grow and divide. For over 1 billion years, life remained single-celled, quietly multiplying and changing the planet. These microorganisms were the silent architects of our world. Cyanobacteria developed photosynthesis, releasing oxygen, a poison to most life then, but a game-changer for the future. This process began to fill the atmosphere with oxygen. Oxygen transformed the atmosphere, paving the way for more complex life. It was a slow but steady change, setting the stage for the evolution of new forms of life. Some cells began to cooperate, forming colonies and eventually multicellular organisms. This cooperation allowed for specialization and more efficient survival strategies. Specialization followed. Some cells became the first animals, developing new ways to move and feed, while others evolved into plants, harnessing sunlight for energy, and fungi breaking down organic matter. From a single spark, life began branching out. Each new form of life added to the complexity and beauty of the planet. The Great Oxidation event set the stage for evolution's next leaps. This event was a turning point, leading to the development of more advanced life forms. Life was ready to fill every corner of the globe. The diversity of life forms began to explode, each finding its niche. The age of diversity had begun, marking the start of an incredible journey that continues to this day. For centuries, the diversity of life was a mystery. Charles Darwin, a young naturalist, set sail on HMS Beagle in 1831, collecting specimens and observing nature's variety. On the Galapagos Islands, he noticed finches with different beaks, each adapted to its island's food. Darwin realized these birds shared a common ancestor but had changed to fit their environments. Back in England, he studied his findings, inspired by farmers who bred animals for specific traits. He called this process artificial selection. Darwin wondered, what if nature itself selected traits without human guidance? This idea became his theory of natural selection. It would explain the branching tree of life. Darwin's insight was simple. Individuals vary, and more are born than can survive. This leads to competition for resources. Traits that give an edge, like a longer neck or better camouflage, help individuals survive and reproduce. These traits are passed on, becoming more common over generations. Natural selection is not about perfection, but about what works best in a given environment. Adaptations useful today may become disadvantages if conditions change. Evolution has no goal. It's a process of constant filtering and refinement. The thick fur of a polar bear is great in the Arctic, but deadly in a desert. Over time, small advantages accumulate, shaping species. Less useful traits fade away. Evolution is slow, gradual, and relentless. It's nature's way of sculpting life. For evolution to work, traits must be inherited. The answer lies in DNA, the blueprint of life. DNA carries genes, instructions for building every organism. When DNA is copied, small random mistakes, mutations, sometimes occur. Most mutations do nothing or are harmful, but some offer advantages. These rare beneficial mutations are the raw material for evolution. Natural selection filters these new traits, favoring those that help survival and reproduction. Evolution is driven by random mutation and non-random selection. Change is slow. Tiny shifts in DNA accumulate over generations. Over time, these small changes can lead to dramatic transformations. Fins become legs, scales become feathers. Evolution is a story of incremental change written in our genes. It's the engine of life's diversity. How do we know life has changed? Fossils are the evidence. Fossils are preserved remains or traces of ancient life. Bones, shells, even footprints. Arranged by age, fossils reveal a clear sequence. Simple cells, then complex life, then fish, amphibians, reptiles, mammals, and birds. The pattern is the same worldwide. Fossils show transitions. Fish with limb-like fins, feathered dinosaurs, land mammals turning into whales. Transitional forms like Archaeopteryx bridge the gap between groups. The fossil record is incomplete, but its story is consistent. After the dinosaurs vanished, mammals flourished. Fossils connect today's animals to their ancient ancestors. They are proof of evolution's long branching path. The fossil record reveals life's greatest transformations. Fish with sturdy fins like Tiktaalik began venturing onto land, evolving into amphibians. Over generations, fins became legs and gills gave way to lungs. This opened new worlds for life to explore. Birds evolved from feathered dinosaurs. Feathers first served for warmth or display, then for flight. Archaeopteryx shows the transition from dinosaur to bird. Whales began as land mammals. Fossils show their gradual return to the sea. Limbs became flippers, bodies streamlined for swimming. Each transformation took millions of years. Evolution's power is seen in these dramatic changes. Life is always adapting, always moving forward. Evolution isn't just ancient history, it's happening now. Antibiotic resistance in bacteria is evolution in action. Survivors of drug treatment multiply, spreading resistance. Superbugs are a global threat, a reminder that evolution is an ongoing arms race. Viruses like influenza evolve rapidly, forcing us to update vaccines every year. Their constant mutation makes them hard to control. Humans have guided evolution too. Domestic dogs and crops are products of artificial selection. Every breed of dog descends from wolves, shaped by human choices. Our food plants have been bred for size, yield, and nutrition. Evolution is both natural and human-directed. It shapes our world every day. We are part of the process. Evolution is a story of connection. It's a tale that links every living thing on Earth, from the tiniest microbe to the tallest tree, from the birds in the sky to the people walking below. Every living thing is part of one immense family tree stretching back nearly 4 billion years. This tree of life is vast and intricate, with countless branches representing the diversity of species that have ever existed. The proof is in our DNA. All life uses the same genetic code, a universal language written in the molecules of our cells. This code is passed down, generation after generation, connecting us in ways we are only beginning to understand. Humans and chimpanzees share over 98% of their DNA. Our closest living relatives remind us of our shared origins and the subtle differences that make each species unique. We share genes with mice, creatures that may seem distant but are in fact our genetic cousins. And with fish, even fruit flies, tiny beings whose lives seem so different from ours, yet whose DNA reveals a deep and ancient kinship. The genes that build our eyes and bodies are variations on ancient themes, reused and reshaped by evolution over millions of years. These shared blueprints are evidence of our common past. Our DNA is a living record of our evolutionary past, a molecular archive that tells the story of adaptation, survival, and change. This shared heritage connects us to all life. It reminds us that every creature, no matter how small or strange, is part of our extended family. We are not separate from nature, but woven into its tapestry. Our lives are intertwined with the fate of the natural world. Every species is a unique evolutionary experiment, a one-of-a-kind solution to the challenges of survival. Losing one is like tearing a thread from the fabric of life, weakening the whole and diminishing the beauty of our world. Understanding evolution inspires wonder and respect for our world. It encourages us to protect the diversity of life that surrounds us, for ourselves and for future generations. The story of life continues with every new generation. Each birth, each sprouting seed is a new chapter in the ongoing saga of evolution, a story we all share.